I'll now call on our great Chairman Walberg from Michigan for his 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for this hearing, and thanks, committee. Andy, it's great to see you back. It's always know that people can be elevated, and they're stolen from our committee, some of the best people, so good to have you back. Mr. Golombek and Mr. Banducci, Mr. Bonham, employers voluntarily sponsor retirement plans, and in doing so, the employer commits to comply with the laws governing those plans. EBSA investigations also rely on the voluntary cooperation of the employer, although voluntary cooperation is not necessary. Now that the public has learned, and this is my question, since the public has learned that EBSA has secretly shared information with plaintiffs' attorneys, stacking the deck, how will employers' willingness to cooperate with EBSA's investigations change? Mr. Golombek?
Hello, Patriots, and welcome back to the Constitution Corner. If you love America, uphold the rule of law, and believe in limited government and accountability, give that video a like, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a truth bomb. Now, let's dive into a powerful hearing featuring Michigan Chairman Walberg grilling Department of Labor officials over shady treatment of employers under EPSA investigations.
Mr. Golombek?
Thank you for that question. I think it's had a chilling effect in the cases that I'm involved in where we're representing plan sponsors and fiduciaries in active Department of Labor investigations. There's a natural reluctance to produce information and to cooperate in the absence of any assurance that information that has been produced, that is designated as exempt under FOIA, will be treated that way. That did not happen in the lawsuit I was involved in.
Mr. Banducci?
I think from an employer standpoint, right, when we're on the other end of these audits or investigations, there's a desire to get to a resolution, and it's really hard to get to a resolution if you don't know exactly who's on the other side, right? And so if it's a labor department, that's one thing, but if it's a labor department and then other attorneys and other law firms, I think that's even more challenging.
Okay. Mr. Bonham?
I hate to say this, but voluntary cooperation is imaginary. If you receive a letter from EBSA, you hire a lawyer and you respond. So EBSA's breach of trust in these agreements is actually increasing costs, not just for plan sponsors, but it's actually increasing cost for EBSA because everybody lawyers up immediately. If there's no trust, there is no voluntary cooperation.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Golombek, Banducci, and Bonham, a 2019 practical law publication titled Guide to Dealing with Department of Labor Investigations of Retirement Plans gives tips to reduce administrative burden, cost, and stress associated with EBSA investigations. In your experience, what is a ballpark range of the amount an employer spends when responding to and potentially defending against an EBSA investigation? Mr. Bonham, we'll start with you.
I would say the minimum expense is going to be in 6 figures. The high end of expense is going to be in multiple millions of dollars.
Wow. Wow. Mr. Banducci, so, give us better news.
I don't have better news, unfortunately. Obviously, it depends on the complexity of the investigation, how long it goes on. But if you're dealing with a very complex plan with very broad sort of fishing expedition type requests and scope, it's going to be very, very, very expensive.
Mr. Golombek.
Yeah, I think the potential expenses and costs can be astronomical. You're going to be producing documents to the government, collecting those documents that could be in the millions. Often you need to get an electronic or e-discovery vendor to assist you. There's then going to be often interviews of key witnesses. As Mr. Bonham alluded to, that often you're almost invariably going to be hiring outside legal counsel to assist you in preparing for those interviews. And then the department may issue a preliminary findings letter that would result in putting together a response back, negotiations over a potential resolution. So the costs are going to be, they can be potentially catastrophic.
It's apparent in looking at least from my perspective, that's something that's supposed to be a partnership to make sure that good is rewarded and bad is disciplined through the process the government has in oversight has become one-sided in many ways. And ultimately cost and distrust and automatic assumption of guilt, one-sided, doesn't work. And I think that's, as I address the concerns of my colleagues on the other side, that's our concern, that the system works and choice is given and opportunity is given and ultimately costs aren't escalating because of this wrong-headed, one-sided, suspicious approach. Thank you. I yield back.
We watched Chairman Walberg begin with admiration for returning committee members, then move straight into serious questioning about a hidden scheme. The Department of Labor's Employee Benefit Security Administration (EPSA) apparently sharing privileged employer information with plaintiffs' attorneys in secret. That's a direct breach of trust and professional ethics. He asked, now that the public knows EPSA secretly shared confidential information with class action lawyers stacking the deck, how will employers continue to cooperate? The experts testified that trust is shattered. No assurances mean no voluntary cooperation. Instead of employers working with EPSA in good faith, they're immediately hiring lawyers and stonewalling. That drives up legal costs for employers and even EPSA itself, and it chills employer cooperation. From the transcript we heard Mr. Bonham call voluntary cooperation imaginary. The moment EPSA steps in, any employer hires counsel and responds defensively. That is the exact opposite of a cooperative partnership model. Chairman Walberg then asked about the cost. Readers, buckle up. Responding to these investigations is not cheap. The minimum is 6 figures, stretching into the millions for complex, broad-scope inquiries. That's catastrophic potential for businesses doing their best to follow the law. And the witnesses confirmed. Document collections, e-discovery vendors, multiple outside attorneys, witness interviews, and lengthy back-and-forth negotiations all pile on the bills. Companies are tapped out and small business can't afford this. From a patriotic standpoint, this is government overreach at its worst. EPSA's mission was oversight and compliance, not weaponization. When the government becomes judge, jury, and leaks secrets to plaintiffs before an adjudication, even undermining FOIA protections, the system breaks. It's not about disciplining the bad, it's about casting suspicion over every compliant business. That's not oversight, that's intimidation. As conservatives who believe in the Constitution, private property rights, and transparency, we see this going in the wrong direction. A government that punishes before it investigates, leaks privileged data, and forces every employer to lawyer up is antithetical to American principles. Employers must trust that if they comply, they won't be blindsided. And if EPSA can no longer guarantee confidentiality, why cooperate at all? Chairman Walberg's line of questioning was bold and justified. We need more patriots in Congress holding bureaucrats accountable. The chilling effect described here is real. If employers won't participate voluntarily, real oversight collapses. The alternative? Mandatory subpoenas across the board, drawn-out litigation, and higher taxpayer and employer costs. It's time for House Republicans and constitutional conservatives to demand a full Inspector General investigation, as Fox and others have called for, into EPSA's information sharing with plaintiffs' bar. We must restore trust, ensure privilege protections are honored, and limit agency discretion when it comes to confidential documents. Without that, we don't have oversight, we have government by ambush. So, patriots, what do you think? Should EPSA investigators face penalties for leaking data? Should FOIA and privilege laws be strengthened? Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you stand for the Constitution, transparency, and justice, hit that like button, subscribe to the Constitution Corner, and ring the bell for more watchdog reporting. We are the Constitution Corner, where Americans' root guides its future. Until next time, stand strong, speak truth, and may God bless the United States of America.